Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Today, starting a quick new project. You know the old adage, one man's trash is another man's treasure? Well, I've got a decent amount of treasure right here. So, this right here is a Z creeper folding creeper seat. So basically it converts between a stool and a creeper, and I've been needing a creeper at work, and so I found this in the trash. So it's free, so I might as well, you know, these things go for about 50-60 bucks. So I might as well spend probably more than that fixing this up. Because anyway, it is in pretty rough shape. We are missing a bolt right here that hinges it together. The rest of it's a little sorry, and it should have 6 wheels and I have 4. So I've ordered some wheels. I've got a bolt, that one's easy. But me being me, I'm not gonna let this just be like this. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna strip this down. I'm going to pull the cushions off, recover them, and we're going to paint the frame. So let's get started. So we are going to get started by disassembling. And I'm going to try to keep this hardware somewhat organized. I might even replace the hardware, you never know. But remember, I got washers on the outside and seemingly nothing on the inside. There's a bolt I found in my stash that we're going to use. But now this comes into its 3 parts. I'm going to pull the cushions off. Oh. Looks like these guys use T-nuts and fine thread fasteners. That's nice. I was expecting this to just be a big old chunky wood screw. So, fairly impressed with the construction. They did good. Might have a problem with that one. If we push through. Yeah, whoever put this together cross-threaded that one. I'll deal with that later. Continuing on. This is where I'll break out the old vice grips. Or I should say vice grip shaped objects. Those are Harbor Freight cheapy ones. Got some good proper Irwin ones somewhere, I just don't know where. Ruining the heck out of this upholstery. Too bad. There's no way of of replacing this, and that I'm not planning on replacing this. Alright. There. Put that aside. Put that aside. And put this aside. We're going to be dealing with that later. Next step, we are going to... Oh, it appears that these thread in to some bosses. That's not the casters I bought, so I hope that that'll still work. Because I bought ones that are more like, that have like, that go through and then use like a sleeve nut. But we'll see how this goes. Yeah, these are threaded into riv nuts, which is a great way of doing it. Riv nuts are fantastic. Except this one, the riv nut is seized in. If you can see that. I spin it and it just kind of twists. We're going to have to figure that one out too. Hopefully these ones... Okay. So these ones are exactly what I thought it was. We've got a nut right there, and then we've got our caster. And that nut takes an Allen wrench. That's the kind that I bought. So at least 4 of them should work, because this also takes the same. Or that end takes the same. So hopefully, well, I would say hopefully the ones that I have will work fine, but I also have riv nuts, so if we've got to riv nut things, we can riv nut things. Okay, so to get this guy out, all I did was just kind of squeeze it with my tiniest pliers. And then I had just enough purchase, and thankfully this was just loose enough to where I was able to get that out. But we are definitely going to want to deal with this and drill this guy out, because stripped out riv nut is no good for anyone. And I know it's probably, I shouldn't be using pliers, but I kind of don't care. But if it's something that actually matters, don't use pliers. Use the wrench that fits. But I don't have like an inch and change 8-sided wrench, so pliers. Do, however, need an Allen wrench, and my guess is correct. 5 millimeters, because this is a globally made thing, and so they use metric, because as much as I use the imperial system daily, metric is better. And then finally, this looks to be a pretty basic sort of thing right here. We are just going to take this little key ring, feed that through, and then drop the spring in the middle of everything. But that's just a basic little spring in there. If I pull this cap, I should be able to get it out. There we go. And I'm going to probably want to pull those caps anyway. So, next step, keep this together, is pretty much going to be pull all this apart, take the little plastic caps off, scuff it up, and paint it. Depending on how that goes, I may scuff it up here, or maybe I'll scuff one up here. But I do have access to a sandblaster at work, so I might be lazy and do that. But, just so you guys know, really all you need is something like this, one of these little kind of fuzzy stripping discs. They do wonderful things for stripping paint, and they don't hurt the finish. So just for the heck of it, I will show you. We'll load one of those up on the grinder, and you'll see just how effective they are. So just hit it like that. We get down to bare metal super quick, and it works. But again, lazy, so sandblaster. I will basically do that, then I'll hit them with some paint, and then we can start reassembling. Alright guys, it's another day. Had the parts sandblasted, then I painted them, and then they got scratched when I brought them home, so I painted them again, and put a little bit of clear on, just to make it pop a little bit. If you're wondering why I went blue, it's because it's the paint I had, and I kind of like it. This is the same blue that the Blazers painted in. But yeah, so frame is together, so next step we are going to assemble that back together. So I've got this laid out just like before, and we're just gonna start putting her together. It's pretty basic, it's just 4 bolts on each side. Nothing too crazy. I'm gonna put it together loose for now. Because there's some space here, I'm going to put a washer in between the frame bits. Hopefully that does something. So now we've got our Z shape, kind of folded up like so. I also need to find that bit with the little spring and whatnot. Coolio. So now we've got our locked position like this. Then we pull the tab, and it locks in the straight position, like so. So now, what we got to do is it's time to put the wheels on. So these are the casters that I bought from Torin. They're just kind of your generic ones. I've mostly filtered by kind of cheapest but decent. But they should hopefully fit in those holes. Hey, what do you know? So we are going to put that in there, like so. Same with this guy. And as you can see, it's coming together. But this is just the frame. So we'll get those in. So, as you can see, I do have this caster on, but if you remember from before, we have a giant hole right here where this riv nut basically exploded and stripped out. So we are going to replace that riv nut. Fortunately for past me, this guy, these are the same thread as the wheels that came out of this. So this is an M8 thread, and we've basically just got to put another riv nut in there. So this guy right here is a riv nut setter and an M8 riv nut. It comes with a bunch of little dies and whatnot, but basically we are going to thread this into there like so. Slip it over, give her a squeeze, then unthread. And we've got a fresh riv nut installed. So now I can just take this guy and thread him in. But anyway, that right there is the frame. But unfortunately, this probably isn't very comfortable. So we should probably deal with the cushions. Can confirm, not very comfortable. Does work though. I just wouldn't want to be on this all day. Okay, so got our cushions. They've seen better days. Time to start pulling them apart to reupholster. So to do that, I've got a pick. I might actually want to grab a small screwdriver. Alright, small screwdriver and bigger pliers acquired. And we are going to pull all of these staples out. Sometimes the pick works and sometimes it's just not strong enough. So lifting with the screwdriver, pulling with the pliers, we're going to just go all around this. And strip this board down. More staples. Okay, staples removed. Now we can pull the fabric off. And there we go. We've got some cushion foam. It's not too bad. And then we have our, inside here, these are our T-nuts. This is what actually holds this. So you go underneath, you thread that in, it grabs against that T-nut and locks it in place. So we're going to leave those in place, naturally. And I am going to pull everything off the rest of these, and then we are going to grab the new fabric. Alrighty then, got everything stripped down. This is that middle one where that T-nut came apart. I went to Home Depot, picked up a baggie of T-nuts. These are metric something, probably M6. These are 1/4 that's the closest I could really get. But that should hopefully fit in that hole. And then we'll basically just hammer that in. And while I'm in there, I'm also going to take this one out. That way we've got two that match. But same idea. Line like so. Smack of the hammer. So, there we go there. So now, we're going to turn our attention to the foam. And I definitely upgraded the foam. So pick this up. This is a little bit thicker. This is a 2-inch thick foam as opposed to this like, I don't know, 1/2 inch, whatever that is. You can see the difference there. So probably be a little bit more comfy. It really wasn't that much. I think this sheet was $9. So we will clean off this bench and we will mark out our boards. Hopefully they all fit. And then cut our foam. Alright, there we go. foam, complete with my dirty fingerprints, because mechanic hands. Let's trace this out. And then we will cut it out. And thankfully that one sheet of foam is enough. Handy dandy knife. I guess the downside of getting this chunky 2-inch thick foam, the knife blade doesn't fit. Alright, so got all my foams cut, same size as the board. Now time to start the upholstering. So this is some cheap vinyl I picked up at the store. It should hopefully do. I got way more than I need because I figure I'll use it for some other projects. So I got about 2.5 yards. I'm probably going to need half a yard. A little bit more than the actual foam that I used. But I got this one pre-cut to about the right size. So it is as simple as we're going to lay this here. We are going to pull our fabric tight to the wood, and we're going to shoot it with some staples. Actually, before I really go too far, there are some holes that are being covered. So I'm going to just open up the holes where my T-nuts are. This will all be, covered. You won't see any of this, so these little circles I'm cutting are going to be completely fine. Now, we're going to take this side, pull that tight, staple that, and then we're going to fold these corners so it looks kind of nice. Okay, so got that all stapled in. I ended up doing this nice little tuck on the edges because I think that'll look nice. So just to finish it off, I could leave it like this, but I am going to take the original cheap kind of paper fabric backing just to make it look a little more finished. Those holes line up as well. Alright, moment of truth. What does the top look like? That looks like a nice soft cushion. So now I got to do it with the other two, and we'll bolt it up and see how it looks. Alright, there we go. There is the creeper. So here we go, got the creeper. It does creeper things. It's actually pretty comfy with all that extra padding on there now. So just gonna spend a little while sitting here, rolling around. But this isn't just a regular creeper, this is a creeper seat. So what we do, pull this little pin, it flips up, and now I've got a stool. So, alright, that's going to be it for today. See you next time. Thanks for watching. This needs to get flipped.